Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And listen, BBN, I want to tell you who I think the perfect replacement for Jay Lucas is. And that's Rajon Rondo, of course. And I think it's time, man, that we had a strong alumni presence come and get over on that bench and help Calipari get his recruiting back. And I think Rajon Rondo is the perfect guy to do that because the reason why is he just has a presence currently, right? Like, if you look at what Louisville's doing, okay, yeah, they got Danny Manning. I get it. But none of these new players know who Danny Manning is. I mean, I didn't even watch Danny Manning play in college. I started watching basketball. He was already in the pros. So I feel like a whole lot of these young cats wouldn't really care about Danny Manning, to be honest with you. But now, if Rajon Rondo walks in your house, that might have a little weight. That might hit a little different, right? Number one, Rajon Rondo is a Kentucky alumni. He's actually one of my favorite players from, Big Blue Nation, man. I loved Rondo when he was at Kentucky, and I wish he would have got to play more years at Kentucky. But, after his sophomore year, I think he was a little frustrated with Tubby Smith, how Tubby Smith was utilizing him, and he just decided to go pro, and it ended up working out for the kid, man. He got drafted kind of low. But he made the best of his career, right? He ended up winning 2 championships, one with the Celtics and one with the Lakers. Now, think about that. If you got to win championships, imagine winning one with the Lakers and one with the Celtics. So that's Rajon Rondo for you, man. He made a couple of all-star teams. He's been on some all-NBA defensive teams. He's led the league in assists. And most importantly, he's a current athlete, right? He played this year in the NBA. He won a championship with LeBron James, which is going to hold some weight, man, because at the end of the day, every young player that plays basketball today knows LeBron James, right? So that means by default, they follow the Los Angeles Lakers, which Rondo was on the last Los Angeles Lakers championship team, and he played a little bit with them this year. So technically, majority of these athletes know Rajon Rondo, man, and I would just love for Rondo to be on Kentucky's bench helping Calipari. Also the way Calipari runs his offense, he always, utilizes point guards, right? His offense is kind of centered around point guards moving the ball and getting other players involved. Like his dribble drive offense, he likes point guards that can attack, and throw lobs and get big man easy baskets. And who better to have over there teaching point guards how to run offense than Rajon Rondo, right? A lot of people consider Rajon Rondo one of the, smartest basketball players of his time, right? And some people might even say of all time, Rajon Rondo has one of the highest basketball IQs. I personally feel like Rajon Rondo knows the game very well. He knows it almost too well to the point that he's had some issues with his coaches in the past because he probably thinks he knows the game better than they do, and it ended up causing him to butt heads a couple of times. So Rondo would be the perfect person, in my opinion, to help teach these young kids how to play the point guard position. And he has a lot of experience in the NBA. He has experience playing against some of the best players that have ever played the game, playing along with some of the best players that's ever playing along with some of the best players that's ever played the game. And you talking LeBron James, we talking Anthony Davis, we talking about KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. Rondo has played against Kobe Bryant. Rondo's done it all, man. So at the end of the day, Calipari, make it happen. Get Rajon Rondo on the bench. I think it would be monumental for us to get a guy like that because me personally, I just know if I had a son that was a top high school prospect and Rajon Rondo walks into my living room and he's sitting down with me and my wife and we talking to him, I'm going to be on board already because number one, I'm a Kentucky fan, so I'm already going to want my kid to go to Kentucky. But if Rajon Rondo comes in and talks to me about it, man, I'm going to be on board and hopefully my son would be too. And, I just feel like he could be a big presence for the program. He could help, kind of restore the feeling because it's going to be hard to replace Jay Lucas. He was a really successful recruiter. He was starting to become one of the best recruiters in the country and probably eventually is going to end up being a good head coach in his own, man. And I hate to say this, but he's probably going to do a lot of good things for Duke. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's no hate. He was a BBN and he decided to go over to Duke, DOOK, Duke. And that's fine, man. Like, I'm not going to hate the guy for that. I will hate him when we play Duke, but I ain't going to hate a guy for if he feels like he had a better opportunity, go seize your opportunity, man. It's no love lost, but we got to move on and we got to replace you. And I think Rajon Rondo is the number one best replacement for me. And I've been hearing some other people throw out some other names like, I heard Tracy McGrady, I heard Jalen Rose. But the only thing about that is they're on TV already, man. And, at the end of the day, if you're making a couple $1,000,000 on TV, why would you leave that job to go be an assistant coach, right? As much as I love Kentucky, if I was on TNT or ESPN or Fox Sport or whatever, ABC, and I was, giving commentary on basketball or any sport for that matter, I'd much rather do that. Look at me now. I'm just sitting in my living room doing it, right? So at the end of the day, I'd much rather be doing that, especially if I'm making $2 or $3 million a year versus going and being somebody's assistant coach. And, now would I take an assistant coaching job versus what I'm doing right now? Absolutely. But if I was in Jalen Rose or Tracy McGrady's situation, I probably wouldn't be interested in that. But I know Tracy McGrady does love Kentucky, man. Even recently, he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay, and he was rocking his Kentucky sweatshirt, man, and talking about how much he loved Kentucky and wanted to play for Kentucky. And he feels like he's a Kentucky Wildcat. Like he says, they're his Kentucky Wildcats. So I do think that they should at least reach out to Tracy McGrady because, I feel like Tracy McGrady would give you that same feel that Rondo gives you, except for he just didn't play for Kentucky, right? Rondo has the edge on him because he actually did. He wore the Kentucky blue, man. He actually bled blue. Tracy McGrady didn't get to bleed blue because unfortunately, Adidas offered him $12 million. And I can't knock the man for taking $12 million, but he loves Kentucky. And if he was to come and sit on that bench and help Coach Calipari, that would be a big deal for Kentucky. Also, I just don't think he's going to do it. And the same with Jalen Rose, man. I had heard that Jalen Rose had made a comment where he said that if he was going to, work for a coach, Calipari would be one of the ones he would consider working for. So, maybe they might reach out to Jalen, but probably he's not interested along with Tracy McGrady. But I think Rajon Rondo is the guy, man. They got to make a big push and get him. I just think it would help the program so much. And hopefully, we'll figure it out soon. I had, I just did my show about the program maybe being in shambles. And some people understood what I was saying. Some people was really upset because they felt like I was down in the program. And I love Kentucky, man. And at the end of the day, I said what I said. And I'm not going to be super biased, man. When Kentucky is having some interesting moments, I got to keep it real, man. So if crazy things are happening at Kentucky, I got to tell you that I think crazy things are happening at Kentucky, man. And when we get it all the way back together, trust me, I'm going to be there to tell you that everything is smooth, everything is great, and we're going to win that championship. But right now, man, we just lost Jay, and we got to replace him. And I just think Rondo's the guy. So you let me know, are you in agreement with me? Do you think Rondo's the guy? Who else? Did I miss anybody? Let me know, and we'll figure this thing out together, and we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson.